Hello gentlemen, welcome back. It's been far too long since I've done a serious commentary or gameplay analysis or a gameplay tutorial on the channel, mainly because all my editing time has been going towards getting episode 5 done. But now that it's concluded and uploaded ready for release, I can start looking in serious detail about reviewing and covering games in detail to see if I can help you out with your gameplay. Now, this game is not exactly going to be edge of your seat material. This is an 86%. The enemy are statistically underwhelming, I believe was the politically correct term, but you'll see it at the start in chat. I said Platoon 1, these guys, Platoon WZ11114, very mobile, tier 9 Chinese heavy, and the T-54, don't think I need any extra explanation as to what that is. So, I reckon these guys, I mean, they could go 1-2 line, they could go town. You know, they're versatile enough to perform either, but as long as we stick together, we're going to be insanely powerful. So, I say to them at the start of the game, I will push the town aggressively, and that is getting us on to what this video is going to be all about, which is a read. Now, this is something I've talked about before, about how you should read the enemy team to try and find out how you want to play a game, and your game plan should adapt. From one game to the next, it should change. I will take this moment to apologise for the lack of FPS. I am exporting another video in the background so that I can have some more content on the channel, but yeah, FPS is going into the toilet right now. So, what do you have to think when getting into a game like this? I mean, 86%, and there's probably a plethora of ways that we could have played this and still won it, but let's assume that these teams were equally skilled. Then you've got to look at where you have an advantage and disadvantage. And you're looking at the two teams. What do we see? We've got Stir and Mill T95, two TDs on our team. That means on the back foot, we will have only two TDs and an RT. So we're not as strong as the enemy are because they have 20 TDs and an RT. And the TDs are higher tier. They've got 1 tier 8, 2 tier 9. So, bigger advantage when the enemy team are on the back foot. But at tier 9, which is where the important tanks are, you want to balance it in the way that you look at tier 9s as being more important than the others. You'll get the hang of this the more you do it. But what you want to ensure is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tier 9s that can work on the aggro, that can work aggressive. We actually have a bonus tier 9, but the point being that 2 of their tier 9s are TDs, very likely to play defensively and play in the back and camp in the back somewhere, and a 771 top speed of 40, 10 degrees of gun depression is most likely going to be in the 1-2 line or in the middle. So, instantly, we know that all we're going to have to face in the town is likely to be these tier 8 heavies, and so that creates your playstyle. Once we know that, we now know that we are going to be able to take an extremely aggressive stance in the town because we know that it's very likely the enemy are going to have a serious disadvantage in this location. So it's why you see me pushing up so aggressively at the start here, because I know that we've got a flat out advantage over the enemy in this location of the map. And this is exactly what you want to be doing in pretty much every game. You play at the start of the game, use that 30 seconds. It's not just useless countdown time. It's time that you can be using to analyze the enemy team and figure out how you're going to play. Now, I will spend just this engagement on the Tiger 2 and the tanks that we find around this corner, giving a review of the Conqueror for those who want to know about the tank. So, I haven't actually looked at stats recently, so this is just off the top of my head. If I get anything wrong, don't eat me. But Conqueror 130mm of frontal hull armor compared at the tier to other heavy tanks, that's not good. Apart from the IS-8 or the T10 with 120 at the front, it does stack up well because the T10's armor sucks. But against heavies, E75, 160 frontal, ST1, 140 frontal, it doesn't really stack up because of the poor angle and weak armor on the lower plate as well. So that's why you see me getting into this hold down position here, working the 7 degrees of gun depression that's on this vehicle with the 254mm of frontal turret armor. And you can see this gun is just tearing this Tiger 2 to pieces. 120mm, 5.71 rounds per minute, 1.9 second aim turn, 0.33 accuracy, and 259mm of pen, with standard APCR goes up to 329, I believe. 326, and you saw us using one of these fantastic hair shells to finish off the tiger when you got onto low health there. They are the same hair shells that you'd find on the tier 9 British TD, the tortoise. They are unique pretty much to the British tanks and very, very useful. 120mm of pen and 515 alpha damage. Makes them applicable for use on light tanks, and if you get around the flanks of certain heavies, the French heavies and maybe the T110 holes that have 38mm of armour at the back as well. You're looking at a fairly damn mobile tank. Got a speed limit of 34.4 for the 4.20 kilometers an hour, around there. And it actually has the second highest hit pool on any tier 9 heavy. E75, that big German super heavy, only has 1,920, and of course the the Type 4 heavy at tier 9, leapfrogging the tortoise for highest hit points up to 2,050. So that's what you're looking at with the Conqueror, and you see this gun just performs it. Absolutely beautiful gun. It is, in my opinion, I'm going to stick my hands up and say it is the best gun on any tier 9 heavy. You can say what you want about the tank, but you take this gun, put it on any other vehicle, it's going to be better than the gun on that tier 9 heavy. So, securing kills at long distance is something that Conquerors can excel at with this 1.9 second aim time. Acquiring targets is beautiful. So, this game, as I said, is not going to be edge of your seat material. We have pretty much won this game with that initial maneuver, aggressively taking the town, because we knew that the enemy had an advantage on this location. We knew that they had two top tier TDs, are likely to play defensive, likely to camp. We knew that the scent would be either here or here working the range line, because it cannot work in the town. So we exploited that to the max and came out with 4 kills and a bit of damage. Like, performance, okay. But now when you're locating to the middle of this map, and this is where I find the Conqueror to be so much stronger than any of the other tier 9 heavies. I mean, 0.23 accuracy is just monstrous. 400 meters base fuel range as well does allow you to acquire targets. I mean, that's not unique at the tier. The only things that don't sport 400 meters fuel range at tier 9 on the heavies are, I believe, the ST1 doesn't, and I think the 5120 also has the 390, but don't hold me to that. And so yeah, there's not an awful lot left to talk about, only that I'm just gonna nom with 5.71 grams per minute on the tanks that are left. And you see my Dystonia playing out there. For those of you who don't know, we've got quite a few new people watching, I imagine. I suffer from dystonia, which does mean that I have problems with fine motor control. We pick up the kill on the scent, but our team decide to cap, because clearly the enemy Foch and Super Pershing were just far too powerful and were going to kill us all. So absolutely the right thing to do to cap there, not the rest of the team of credits and XP. Well done to Mr. KV4 and IS6 for that. But yeah, this is something that I wanted to cover again, because it's something that is so important in my gameplay, because it's from the offset. You know, it affects stuff that you do and stuff that you think about at the early stages of the game is so important, because it has the biggest impact on your game. You know, if you think about something 5 minutes in, it can only affect 10 minutes of gameplay. If you think about it at the start, all your 15 minutes of time you have to put towards that thought, and that's why it's so important to consider what you're going to do in that 30-second run-up. Read the enemy team list and work out where you are going to have a support, a better engagement, because of how your team is laid out with regards to heavies, lights, mediums, whatever it may be. Do you have an RT advantage? Do you have more TDs than the enemy, in which case you should play more defensively? You know, you've really got to constantly be looking at this and trying to work it out. So, gentlemen, hopefully you found the gameplay helpful. As always, thank you very much for watching, and until next time. Oh, do not hesitate to join me on stream as well. I stream daily. If you did not know, I'd love to chat to you and see what you're about. Gentlemen, a fond farewell as always.
What? What? How is that a thing?
Now I can focus on my gameplay.
Headache!
I will.
Violated number one rule.
Oh, there he is.
He's camping.
Alfred, get him.